Hi folks, Dr. Jim Gishwin here, PhD and retired intelligence analyst, and just a good old guy, I guess. And my new air conditioner working too well. Plus this sits here and does to cover up, any emblems that I have on my shirts. I have a function today, so I have to wear red because I'm a veteran. And we wear red on Fridays. Always remember that. A lot going on. I'm going to talk about the first thing first, before we talk about the losers that are in the news. Okay? You talk about brinkmanship. Brinkmanship is happening right now. Trump went and placed submarines off the coast of Russia to pressure them to get to the peace table and get a peace. The ceasefire. Okay? He doesn't trust Putin. Putin's really gone off the deep end. Nothing I can say more about Putin. He is who he is. He wants to reconstitute the old Soviet empire. Well, it wasn't an empire. It was just stuff they captured after World War II because no one else wanted to fight. Anyway. The losers. Kamala, you keep on talking. Granddaughter of a slave owner in Jamaica, 200 slaves, okay? And she's not African American, she's Indian and Jamaican, okay? Yeah, she's black, but don't use the term African American on that, okay? All right. And secondly, Hillary. All this stuff being... Can you imagine this? A whole room full of burn bags. Now, I was an intelligence analyst, and we had to sit there, and once a week, or once a month sometimes, depending on our volume, we had to go down. If we were on a ship, it'd be a furnace close to the boilers and stuff like that, that we'd have to sit there and burn all the stuff. Okay? If it was on base, they had a burn facility. And you'd sit there and take that stuff in a truck, take it over there. Had to be 2 people doing it. Okay? Always 2-person control. So, how did they wind up with a secret room full of all these burn bags? Implicating Hillary, talking about her illnesses, and that Russia wanted her to win because they wanted to hold those illnesses over her as a weapon. All this stuff is coming out, folks. And, of course, anytime they deny something, it means they're doing it. Okay? They're so predictable. And they're violent people. And I'm not talking about normal Democrats, okay? So, Mom and the rest of you guys, even though you got Trumpitis or Trump derangement syndrome, I don't care. If you're just plain Democrats, okay? As long as you're not one of these communists, Marxists, that these progressives really don't call themselves, but they are. Okay? You call it what it is. And that's what it is. Communism, Marxism. Oh, God, you got this guy running for mayor. And the police up there say they're going to sit there and campaign against him. They'll sit there and take anyone other than this guy. This guy sit there and said so many bad things about the police, for God's sake, and then he sits there in an interview and says he'll support him. Yeah, well, what you going to believe? Now let's get back to these burn bags. A whole room full of super classified Durham reports. Someone was sitting there stashing that stuff to sit there and save their butts later, so they could sit there and say it was someone else that was doing it. We all know it was Hillary and the intelligence chiefs and Obama. Okay? She was a Secretary of State. She's the one that allowed the Russians to sit there and get hypersonic weapons. When she sat there and had this project where she was trying to sit there and create a Silicon Valley for Russia. And also that nuclear deal, uranium one, or whatever it was. Okay? She was in so many shady deals, for God's sake, just like the old Whitewater thing, for God's sake. $3,000 turned into $100,000. Anyway, she's a tool, a real tool. Okay, and all these people, the Democrats got no one to put up. Who are they going to put up? All their people are old, worthless, discredited people. They're all connected with all these scandals and stuff, and no one's going to vote for them. And they wonder why males are leaving the Democratic Party. It's because the Democratic Party kept telling males that they were toxic and toxic masculinity and all this other crap. They just wanted to be treated like normal people. Black, white, and brown. And look, the Republican Party now is the party of common sense. You can see it. Now, I am a little bit of, and all these new sheriffs he just announced today, boy, some of them were pretty hefty, especially with Canada. Now, Canada is sitting there playing a very dangerous game, because what he did, he's already sitting there taking away their markets in Europe away from Canada, and a market in England and Scotland. So what he does is he isolates a country to where they have no choice but to trade with us and to come to an agreement. And that's what he's doing to Canada. He did it to China. He isolated them a little bit. Okay? He took all these Southeast Asian and East Asian countries and made deals with them right away. Vietnam, Philippines, Japan, Indonesia. Okay? The man is a genius. Financial genius. But he's strategic. He plays chess when other people think in terms of checkers. Okay? And this is the brinkmanship he's playing with the Soviet Union right now with those subs off the coast. Let's pray that it doesn't go very far. Okay? I'm going to leave you guys with thoughts of Hillary's sickness, with Joe coming back out of retirement to sit there and make speeches, nasty speeches about Republicans, and not even trying to defend whatever he did for 4 years, because it wasn't him doing it, and he knows it. He was once asked, why did you stop natural gas shipments to Europe when Europe needed it to get weaned off of Soviet, fuel, which we're doing now, by the way, gratefully. And he said, I didn't do that. So someone was doing these things for him or instead of him. And we got to get to the bottom of this. We can't let this happen again. Happened under Woodrow Wilson, happened under this guy. We can't let it happen again. Okay? Without justice, there is no democracy, there is no republic. We are not a democracy. We are a republic. A constitutional representative republic. Woodrow Wilson, the anti-constitutionalist, was the first one and only one that ever mentioned the word democracy, which is mob rule, which is what ruined Athens. Anyway, school's getting ready to start. I love you all. And remember, keep our servicemen in your prayers. Okay? We love you, and I remain your very humble servant. Thank you. Bye.